draw every day. I tell that to everyone. Draw every day. Especially in the days that you don't want to do it. The results are that you will become a happier person with yourself. Because the worst thing is like wasting all that creative potential. I've been doing art since, I guess, as old as I can hold a pencil. I remember like I used to love just doodling when I was a kid. And kind of growing up in the city, I was really into graffiti a lot. Whenever we'd walk to school or anywhere, driving anywhere, you'd see these huge, colorful, beautiful murals. And I was like, I want to do that. And I don't care if I get in trouble. I also grew up in Pilsen. And it's just a very colorful neighborhood and colorful atmosphere. And like, we're also lucky because being Latino, especially being Mexican, like we go to Mexico, there's so many colors. I see a lot of like, oh, my work, the work of graffiti artists is inspired by living in such a colorful place, and colorful neighborhoods, stuff like that. So that's really where it all took off. And then I started doing comic book conventions, and that kind of took off as a being of its own. I don't know, I just kind of like sit, I space out, I listen to music. I like drawing donuts and slices of pizza, luchadores, like lucha libre guys, and like, I love doing all that stuff. So I mean, yeah, I like drawing a lot of that stuff because a lot of that are things that I can play with color-wise. I saw it and I'm like, oh, that looks like, it'd be fun if like it looked like a sea creature was coming out of the ocean. And I'm like, oh, what if the sea creature was like a spray can? And there's like not much of a story there, but I just think it looks cool. It's just fun. And it's just that's me. That's just like the weird shit that comes out of my head. I'm pretty lucky in where I can just sit down and I'm like, oh, I want to draw a duck. Holding boxing gloves and smoking a cigar. Like that will just pop in my head. It took a long time for me to get to a point where like I wanted what I wanted my art to look like, and I still think there's still more ways to go. I think every artist should evolve a little bit, but yeah. I'm really, really happy with how a lot of my work turns out, especially with using like a mixed medium like a watercolor and markers and acrylic markers and all that. I think my art has changed in ways where I stopped caring about what people were asking for and more about what I wanted to do. It didn't happen right away, but then eventually I started becoming more comfortable with drawing what I want to draw. I started becoming more concerned about what I wanted as opposed to what's going to sell. It's more so like I want to do what I want to do, and what I want to do is have fun. And then that's changed my artwork because when you're free of like caring about those things, you become more confident that the things that you're producing are what you really want to have and want to see. And then you know what? People are into it. Like we're lucky as creatives, we're lucky because when people see our work or people buy our work, they're buying a piece of us. And I think we're doing ourselves a disservice by like paying attention too much about the things that we worry that other people are gonna see too much of. I started out making post-its of these sayings that I tell myself every day, like keep going, like you're strong as fuck. A lot of it was geared from my own struggles with mental health and just kind of like trying to bounce back from bad things happening. And the work I made, like when I was framing and everything, when I was putting it away for them, it was like I did all this and I did this with a purpose and it makes me happy. Just remember where you're from and remember that you're doing everything in your life for yourself, but also wherever you're from, your community counts on you. And it's so important to remember that when you get to a certain point, you have to help out other up-and-coming artists find their way. If I could say to my younger self or to anyone else is that always remember that behind you there are people there too, and just as creative, if not even more, and they need help. And it's not just about you. And it's not just about making sure you're successful, it's making sure that we come from a thriving community no matter where it's from. I'm just saying, for us Latinos, like, it's our responsibility to bring this culture here and show everyone that, like, we're from someplace. And our artwork, like, I draw La Lucha Libre stuff. I have a great combination of graffiti, Lucha Libre art, and just myself in pieces. And, like, that's awesome. That's stuff that I learned on my own. I think I would like my art to portray two things. For sure that during a dark period in my life, I was able to stay positive, but also a reflection of this is how Leo got from point A to point B, by staying on the brighter side of things. Not to say that every day is like a great day, you know, bad feelings come in waves, but it's, my artwork is a direct reflection of, like, what I used to get through it. And I hope people see that. And I hope the message that people get for themselves is that, like, is that no matter how difficult life is or gets, sometimes you have to find that deeper meaning in you to keep going, to keep finding what you want. Because, like, nothing in life worth doing isn't hard. Everything that's worth it is really hard to get to.